Hey everybody, welcome back to Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home for a Sunday shave. Got a huge show for you today. Lots of different things going on. But before we get started, don't forget, right down here, www.theshavingcadre.com. You can also see it right over there. Come join us. We feel that we are the best shaving and gentlemanly forum on the internet that is for everybody. Also, right over here, you're going to see the barber pole with the cowboy hat. That is my barbershop logo, but it is also the way that you can subscribe to our channel, and we certainly appreciate any comments you have. And then right down here somewhere, there's a bell, and you can ring that bell and get any notifications of any type of new videos that we put out. And then throughout the video, look right up here, you're going to see a bunch of different things pop up, and those are links to other folks on the cadre that provide content for the cadre as well. So all that administrative stuff is out of the way. And finally, today's shave is brought to you by Nurse Dave's Shaving World, the bluest poker chips in San Francisco. You can bet on it. And also, we have a secondary advertiser today, and that's the TSC's Wild Hobo Convex Shaver. You all know him as Bill M, and that'll take, we'll talk to you about that in a few minutes. Okay, so we'll go over all the soaps and the aftershave and all that stuff, because today is actually going to be an evaluation. I'm going to do a 3-day evaluation on Convex hones. Now, before I go into that, I know there's a lot of controversy with Convex hones, and those of you that saw my video a few week or so ago know how I feel about honing. It's your hone, it's your razor, it's your shave. And in my opinion, all you're doing is rubbing steel on a rock. So don't get all convoluted about what types of hones and how you do this and how you do that, because quite frankly, it's horse hockey. Whatever works for you. But that being said, I've been very, very curious about Convex hones. Convex honing has been around for a while. We won't go into that detail. Barbers did it forever because it was a quick way to get the edge ready for their next customer. Well, our TSC hobo, known as Bill M, and make sure you check out his channel up here, was nice enough to ask me if I would evaluate his edge. And so over the next 3 days, today would be kind of a first look, first idea, because the first shave with a brand new honed razor is never always the best, because you're trying to get used to the pressure, and it's a new razor that I've never shaved with before. So we'll do that, and we'll give the characteristics. And Bill had asked me to be painfully honest, and I think most of you know by now that I don't have much of a filter. So yeah, I will be painfully honest. Now, the razor he gave me today is a gorgeous, gorgeous Fierce Izzard, and I believe it's Rasoir Français Evide Sonat Extra Garantie. It's a beautiful razor. Now, I did look at this edge, and you really can't see. I did look at this bevel and this, oh, there's a kind of a reflection. I did look at this bevel and this edge under the loop, and it's, for a Fierce Izzard, which usually has geometry problems on the blade side of it, is flawless. So I'm really excited to shave with this and give an evaluation. Hopefully I won't destroy myself in the process. I've got about a day and a half worth of growth, because I usually shave around 4 o'clock in the morning. So the last time I shaved was yesterday at 4, and I'm not sure. It's, I think, close to 10 now. So anyways, so Bill, thank you so much. He also sent me a Convex balsa strop, which we're going to talk about today on today's Zoom call. And that brings up the best part. My good old buddy, Nurse Dave, you know him, you love him. He has these blue poker chips. He called out the entire cadre yesterday, because if you were part of the cadre, which you should be, you could be part of our Sunday Zoom calls that we have every other week. Well, everybody's saying I forgot, but I'm not the only one that forgot. The whole cadre forgot last week, because we're starting to do stunt shaves, where you drop your name in a hat, and if your number comes up, bingo, bango, bongo, you get to do a stunt shave. The kicker is that you have to shave with what we tell you. And this can be food items. This can be razor items that not necessarily are razors, and aftershave items that can also be food items or other things. Nothing dangerous, but Dave called us out saying that he didn't have advance notice of what he's going to be shaving with. Well, big surprise there, Buttercup. You don't get to know until the day of. That's what makes it a stunt shave. So we've been talking, and we think, and we'll determine this at our Zoom call, which is usually at 1600 hours Pacific time, or 2300 Zulu for those of you in the rest of the world, what we're going to have him shave with. And Bruce is our new sergeant at arms, because we're seeing a side of him that we really really like, and being the jester that he is, Major Rich is also our jester, and so we're gonna have a lot of fun with this today. And of course, none of it will be too dangerous. Hey, listen, I shaved with enchiladas, so I don't want to hear any whining from you, Mr. Nurse Dave. So we didn't forget. We've been talking about it. We just haven't included you in the conversation. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this today, I think. And so we'll go with that. Yeah. So why don't we go ahead and get started with our shave today? As I said, Bill asked me to evaluate his edge. And normally when I'm evaluating any edge, I usually use Pana Crema Nuavia or CBL Orion, because to me those are the absolute slickest soaps I've got. However, this new soap from the most recent offering from Soap Maker, which I'll go over at the end, has just provided just such a beautiful lather. This was only 30 seconds of loading, and it just explodes. And then when you add a little bit of water, it just becomes so nice, so easily. So we're going to test that edge with this. Now, Bill M., he's taken a lot of crap from folks on different forums about his belief system on convex honing. Again, as I said, I don't care how you hone as long as you like the edge. And but unfortunately, in the straight razor world, there are traditionalists. But I look at it this way: no straight razor shaver other than a barber is as traditional. And convex hones were used very much so. In fact, a lot of the barber hones were convex hones. So let's see. And that's how easy this soap is. And we'll go over this on who the soap is from at the end of the shave. But so this the razor came beautifully packed. It did have a light thing of mineral oil on it, which is odd for out here because we don't have any humidity. The razor appears to be brand new. It is a 6, I believe it's a 6/8 or a 5/8 square point. Just a little bit of a round, but just a traditional razor, and from Thayer's Razor. But like I said, the bevel, it looks to be, I don't have my glasses on, but it looks like it might be a full, maybe a quarter hollow. So let's see. Initial impressions on the stroke are, I have always been one that thinks that a cauticule edge is the smoothest edge on the planet. But I gotta tell you, I mean, I'm being a little bit ginger as far as how I approach this, as far as my angle of attack and everything else, because I can feel how keen this edge is. But I gotta tell you, if this is the way all convex edges feel, I'm sold. Just right after the first thing, because this thing is so smooth. I mean, it feels like velvet on the face. You know, and I honestly, I mean, I'm not an expert honer, but I'm pretty damn good. And my cauticule Arkansas edges, for me, are extremely smooth. But this is super, super smooth. And on tomorrow's shave with this, I'll find out from Bill exactly what the progression is. So I can share that. But so far, this is just wonderful. Super keen. because when I was over here, I almost touched down without having it moving, and that was pretty bad. Initial first pass, very smooth. Of course, it was just the first pass. I did get a little too aggressive on one side of it, right in this area, but it didn't cause anything. We'll see how it does on the other more, because the width of grain pass is kind of like the easy going pass. Let's see what she does on the cross the grain and the against the grain. That's really the kicker, especially on the fool's pass. This soap I've reviewed before. It will eat water. I've never been able to break this soap, and I talked to the soap maker about it, and I've never been able to break it, but man, it's got a great feel on the face. Just wonderful. Okay, like I said, I'm being a little extra careful because I know how keen this is, and I've never shaved with this razor. Now, fortunately, I have a number of Thir scissors, and the 6/8 razors feel almost identical to this. I do prefer most of my razors that have thumb notches in them. I just like the feel of it better. But let's see. This path is partially my against the grain path, believe it or not, and partially across the grain. This part of my face is against the grain, and then it's across the grain going up. I can see with this edge that you can get in trouble with it if you're not really careful. I would not venture to say that a convex edge is for the beginning straight shaver. Because I know ultimately the edge and the bevel, whether you do it on a flat stone or a convex, is going to be the same, but how you arrive to that is what gives you the keenness. And so far, as I said, I am really impressed. Very, very smooth. And I've got to say, at this point, even a little bit smoother than a cauticule arc edge, to be frank with you. And caudicules are usually known to be the smoothest, less keen of the edges. But I can say with this that you need to make sure that your razor is moving before you touch down, and make absolutely sure that your soap is extra slick, because I see where this could, how I've mentioned when you are honing with a cauticule or an arc, that you get to a point where the blade sticks. And what that is that's the physical geometry of the fact that you can't go any further on the edge. The flatness, or in this case, the convex flatness of the hone meets the edge. You're never going to get it any closer than that. And I can see right here where it actually could get to that point on your face. That's how nice this edge is. Okay, pass 2 went really, really well. Using, you know, I could probably get away with a DFS shave like this. It's really BBS through here, but on my chin and on my neck, it's going to require my against the grain or across the grain. So we'll see what happens. But I can feel that I probably used a little bit too much pressure on certain spots of my skin. We'll find out when we get to the alum stage. But so far, like I said, first impressions. But I gotta say that I may just be a convert. Now, will I ever convex hone myself? I doubt it. I honestly don't have the time nor the inclination to change my honing methods. Now, does that mean that I won't send all my razors to Bill, hi there, to have him hone them for me? Maybe. But I've shaved with some edges from probably some of the finest hone meisters on the planet, and I gotta say, this one is really, really good. And like I said, this is just first impressions, but we'll see as we go further. And Bill asked me to evaluate this, and I really, really find it an honor to be asked to do that. And but he also knows that I'm not going to pull any punches, and if I like it, I like it. If I don't, I'll tell him about it. And there are a couple of things that I would be concerned about. We'll go over that at the end of the shave. I will say this, that if you have any imperfections on your face, be real careful, because this edge is so tight and so even across the entire blade length that it scrapes off everything. You know, because no matter how good a razor is, whether it be a DE, an SE, a gem style razor, usually because of the way the bevel and the way your skin is, it's going to leave some residual slickness. This is taking everything off. So I'm finding that I have to be just a little bit more careful with this edge. And then those of you that like sushi, notice that a sushi chef will actually wet the blade before he starts cutting. I can see where that would definitely be a benefit. And what I do is I wipe the excess lather off on a large wet sponge, so my edge is always very very wet. Okay, here's really where the rubber meets the road. Doing the fulls pass is a little rougher than a cauticule edge, which surprises me because I figured that would have sliced through it pretty quickly. But that being said, it's a new razor, it's a different edge, and I don't know how well I had the soap hydrated for that specific thing. Okay, so let's test it. Let's test it on some cleanup in the neck, even though I really don't need much. But I want to see how she flat blades and how that edge holds up over 3 days to flat blading. So we'll do some buffing and see how that goes. Buffing is good, but you got to be careful. This edge is sharp. And even though I talk about making sure that you keep your edge moving, this one specifically. So let's see how she flat blades. Super smooth. What I do really like is the consistency of the edge across the entire blade. Because there's a lot of, hold on a second, I don't want to slice my throat. There's a lot of straight razor shavers that will only use a certain portion of the blade, whether it be the first third or the back third, depending on how they're shaving. I use the whole blade almost every pass, so. Wow. Okay, so let's do some evaluation here. Once again, Bill M was nice enough to send me these clear scissors, and this has got a convex honed edge on it. So it was done on convex hones. Super smooth. And we'll go over the initial pros and cons that I feel for the first shave. And most of the cons are user related. But let's see what the alum says, because that's going to tell me how rough the edge is. Nothing. Well, a little thing here, but that is right at my jawline, and I was probably a little bit crazy on the edge. Now, the one thing I am surprised about is I thought after doing all that buffing and all that work through here that I was going to see some sting. I got, like I said, a little bit here, but that's a follicle, but no major sting. And definitely, I would rate this first use, and I'm surprised because I figured it might be a little bit rough, but I would definitely rate this as a DSBBS 10G. And for those of you that know me on the cadre, you know what that means. It's definitely a grail shave. Now, one thing I do different, because basically that was Quinn's, and just like Nurse Dave, a little upset with Amazon or with the packaging, because these caps snap pretty easy once they dry out. Well, this is Quinn's grapefruit and orange rind. I do mine a little different. Dave just uses a couple of little drops and puts it on a dry face, or a relatively dry face. I actually rinse the alum off, leave my face wet, put a little bit more on, then let it sit for a little while I'm cleaning up my brush, and then I'll wipe it off. So yeah, so far I would rank the blade as, if I'm using my normal scale of 1 to 10 for the initial, definitely a 10. The edge felt very, very smooth, very, very easy. No catching, no nothing, even with an uneven face. Super, just easy glide. Now, granted, a lot of this has to do with the soap and other factors, but overall, the way the edge feels on the face. Across the face of the blade, the edge felt even, meaning that I didn't notice any difference in the way the blade felt on my face. So positive, first impressions are, this might be a game changer as far as I'm concerned. And I've been honing for a while, so you flat honers, I'm sorry, but it's still rubbing steel on a rock. Secondarily, so the pros are all good. Now the cons. I would not recommend this edge for a brand new straight shaver. I think you're going to cut yourself apart. 2, you have to keep this edge moving before you touch down. And that goes with any straight razor, but this one a little bit more because of the keenness of it. And then finally, on any of the against the grain passes, it's a little bit rough, but I think that might be me. I think these shaves will get better. And if they do, because this was an intense shave, it was wonderful. If it gets better over the next 3 days, then sorry, Bill, you're going to get a whole bunch of razors back. And then I won't have to hone anymore, which I kind of like that idea. Okay, so we've dried our face here. The one thing there ain't no residual slickness left. You've taken everything off. So we've put the that on. So we can actually talk about the soap now. So what we did is we used Seaforth Fleur de France. Obviously, there's Izzard, France. This is a wonderful soap. I think this is a new base. I'm not sure about that, but this, if he makes heather and spiced in this base, big winner. So if you haven't gotten any of the Seaforth stuff, you need to. And we're going to be using the Seaforth Aftershave as well. And of all his offerings, the Fleur de France is definitely the strongest from a strength of scent scale. And this does have a little bit of an alcohol, and I'm not getting any burn at all. We will be using a little bit of talc today, and of course we're using some French talc. Well, it's named French because the original company was France, but that's right, the good old barber's friend, the one all barbers use. That's right, Clubman. Oh, and it's a cloud, and this is for Bill, because Bill is known, he used to be known as the talc cannon person, but then he stopped shaving and he became a hobo, and I guess he's now in a recovery mode to wow, foggy day, a recovery mode to get back into not being a hobo. Now he's been trying to convince me to change his custom title to recovering hobo. You gotta earn it, Bill. You got to earn it. Even with sending me this wonderful razor and the hone and everything else, take a little bit more than that. So, anyways. And those that I get questions all the time ask, what's the talc for? It finishes the shave, keeps you feeling cool and dry in the summer months. For our brush today, we use the Sorrentino Barzini GID. GID stands for glow in the dark. These lines right here that you can see glow in the dark. I guess it's good for a stunt shave, but it's awesome. Just a beautiful, beautiful resin, as is all of Eric's brushes. And for the EDT, and this acts like an EDP. This is a powerhouse. And once again, Fleur de France. And yes, I use a lot. Leave me alone. All right, so there we go. Once again, don't forget, www.theshavingcadre.com. Nurse Dave, we're going to see you later. And Bill, thank you so much for asking me. I feel very honored that you asked me to evaluate your Convex Edge. And I got to tell you right now, nothing but kudos. And we'll see how it goes over the next couple days. So join me again tomorrow, Barber Dave's Barbershop at Home, where we'll do shave number 2. We'll use a different soap and see if that affects things very much. And I hope everybody has a very, very blessed Sunday. And we'll see you again tomorrow. Take care.